So guys, we have the major trade. It's done and dusted. This is happening no matter what Eric Hosmer wants. Apparently, he doesn't want to, accept a trade to the Nationals, but you take a look at this tweet. The Nationals-Padres deal does not hinge on Eric Hosmer being a part of it. The deal is done regardless. So the original rumor was Eric Hosmer was going to the Nationals with the Padres eating all of his contract. Hosmer doesn't want to go on a rebuilding team. He'll probably be shipped elsewhere with the Padres eating a bunch of the money, but this is what the updated overall trade looks like. Still an underpay by the Padres, getting both Juan Soto and Josh Bell. I think that's one of the biggest shocking things about this trade. Not only do they get Soto, but they also get Bell in a package deal. If you're a Nationals fan, you're getting back a ton of great prospects, and we'll talk about it. But you really would have loved to divvy up Soto and Josh Bell to at least get something back for Bell in another deal, trading him to another contender. But alas, this is the official deal. Padres fans really like it. 13 thumbs up, 1 thumbs down. Nationals fans, there's some mixed feelings. The general consensus is the Nationals got swindled. But I don't see that. C.J. Abrams is a franchise-level shortstop. He's an amazing defender. He's a former top 5 prospect in baseball. Mackenzie Gore, former number 4 overall pick out of high school, pitched very well. He does have an elbow issue, and you got to be careful about those elbow things, but I'm guessing the Nationals really vetted this situation, and they do not expect his elbow issue, which he's currently on the IL with. They don't expect that to be a major problem. If he comes back, he's a potential number 1 or number 2 type pitcher with the stuff that he has from the left side. You've got Robert Hassel, top 30 prospect in baseball, cornerstone outfield prospect, and then you've got Wood, who I actually thought that kid was ranked higher. He's the 88th prospect in baseball, James Wood, but he has a lot of potential. He's 6'7", and then it also gives them $4 million in cash. I don't know if that's going to be included. I think that was to mimic Eric Hosmer possibly coming over with the Padres retaining his entire contract, but that's not happening. Either way, this is very close to what the deal is reported right now. The Padres getting an added value of $171 million. The Nationals are at around 145 to 147. Again, it doesn't look like Eric Hosmer is going to be included, but, it did seem, to me, it does seem like a little bit of an underpay. And it makes me question teams like the Dodgers, teams like the Cardinals, because guys, looking at this prospect haul, if the Cardinals wanted to include Dylan Carlson and Jordan Walker in a package, they could have had Juan Soto. This is a great haul for the Nationals, but it's not unbeatable. It's not like they emptied out their entire farm system. They gave them every pitcher that had any value. This is a haul that was beatable if you're willing to give up, a combination of Matthew Liberatore, Jordan Walker, Tyler O'Neill, something like that, Mason Wynn. The Cardinals were not willing to do that. And I really question, this is a great trade for the Padres because they want to go for it. This is 3 playoff runs. They're going to have Juan Soto, Fernando Tatis, Manny Machado all in a lineup. They just extended Joe Musgrove on a 5-year, $100 million contract. But I really question, will the Padres be able to re-sign Juan Soto when he becomes a free agent and he demands upwards of $35 to $40 million per year? They've already got Machado under contract on a massive deal. Tatis's massive extension kicks in really soon. Joe Musgrove is making a lot of money. It becomes tough. We'll see if they make a run at re-signing Juan Soto, but this tells me Juan Soto very likely will hit the open market in 2.5 years. And for the Nationals, I'm guessing they just liked the prospect haul. You're getting a franchise shortstop. You're getting a potential number 1 pitcher. You're getting 2 middle-of-the-order outfield bats. This is a really, really impressive haul. It is Juan Soto, and theoretically, you are getting, people are saying they're getting fleeced, things like that. I don't know about that. I would just wonder what the Dodgers were offering, what the Cardinals were offering, because accepting a deal like this tells me the Cardinals were not willing to include both Jordan Walker and Dylan Carlson in the same package. That's what this tells me. And then the Dodgers, I think it's a situation where the Nationals already have a franchise-level catcher who's young in Gilberto Ruiz. The Dodgers' best prospect is a catcher, so the Nationals probably don't want that. And then I also think Gavin Lux is untouchable. The Dodgers did not want to trade Gavin Lux. He's probably going to be their starting shortstop next year if Trey Turner ends up leaving. He's under very good, team control, arbitration for the next few seasons, so they didn't want to trade him. And then they also didn't want to trade Will Smith, although they have a surplus of catchers, the Dodgers do. The Dodgers traded one of the best catchers in the game last year. They still have Will Smith, who's one of the best young catchers, and they still have another top catching prospect. That's just weird how that works out. They just unbelievable talent. But a little underwhelming, but the Nationals, this is going to help their rebuild significantly. They just drafted Elijah Green 5th overall, tremendous power there. They got a few great prospects for Scherzer and Trey Turner. This is how you do rebuilds. The Nationals in a few years will be good. They will be contenders. They had to trade Soto now to try and maximize his value. But it does, you wonder, if you trade Soto in the offseason, yes, he has less team control, but more teams would probably be interested. I'm not saying they would get more for him because theoretically he would be worth less because you'd only get him for 2 playoff runs, and I wouldn't want to do that. That's like the Angels keeping Ohtani and then trading him in the offseason. It makes no sense, but this deal, looking at it, it is favorable towards the Padres. They were still able to keep a few of their young pitchers, but they do lose Mackenzie Gore, and the Nationals are able to rebuild. Once again, guys, Eric Hosmer declining to be, being traded there. He doesn't want to get traded. He is invoking his no trade clause, and I'm guessing he'll get traded somewhere else. This is just me speculating, but the relationship there has to be extremely fractured between the Padres and Eric Hosmer, and then the whole situation with the money and Juan Soto and his arbitration. It's going to be $27-30 million. The Padres payroll is going to be crazy. The revenue they're generating from ticket sales should mitigate it a little bit because they're getting great crowds at Petco, getting Juan Soto. They're going to sell out basically every game, I would hope. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about, the New York Yankees. Could the Yankees have put together a package, including Volpe, that equaled around $147 million in value? The one hang-up that I heard, the Nationals apparently don't value Anthony Volpe like much of the industry does. He's a top 10 overall prospect. Some people think he's a top 5 prospect, but apparently the Nationals are not as high on him as the industry. So, and that's like their major offer. The Yankees, Volpe is worth like $55 million in trade value. Jason Dominguez is worth $15 million. Peraza is worth like $20 million. You could put together a package, but I don't think it reaches the, $147 million in terms of overall prospects, even if you included a Gleyber Torres, even if you included a Michael King, who is now on the IL, and, you're not going to do that now. He's out for the year, whatever. So I just think they got outbid, the Yankees, even with this package being maybe a little underwhelming. But it is interesting. Juan Soto was there for the taking. I think the storyline here, if the Cardinals wanted to include Jordan Walker and Dylan Carlson in the same package, this deal would have got done with the St. Louis Cardinals. But I think they refused, and the Nationals ended up going with the Abrams, Gore, Hassel, Wood, and then a reliever. I believe that's who that is, type package, and that is the deal there. So the Padres, this sets up a situation with Juan Soto in 2.5 years. He's going to hit the open market, and it's going to be very tough for the Padres to re-sign him. But you have to absolutely love this lineup. They're going for it. They've got 3 playoff runs at least with Juan Soto and Tatis and Manny Machado hopefully healthy in the same lineup. If you get 3 shots at that and they're healthy, playoffs are weird, but you have a very significant chance to at least come out of there with 1 World Series appearance, possibly a win. And that's what baseball comes down to. You develop these prospects and then you trade them for a superstar like Soto. You have to give the Padres an A on this trade. Because you're going for it. You're going for it. You have the pitching. You've got Musgrove. You've got Mike Clevenger pitching really well now. You're going for it. And then the Nationals, people seem to be overreacting. They're saying the Nationals didn't get a lot. The Nationals got 3 everyday possible potential position players. The one thing, I thought James Woods was a better prospect. I didn't realize he was 88. I thought he was like top 40. So, and maybe James Woods is very young. Maybe he can move up. That's why they like him. But I did think he was a little bit higher than that. So overall, the Nationals, maybe a little underwhelming, but I like the haul personally. And it tells me the Dodgers really weren't that interested. The Cardinals didn't want to give up both Walker and Carlson. That's what this haul tells me. We'll see if the Padres end up trading Eric Hosmer. There's still a lot of things. I do expect Sean Murphy to be traded to the Guardians. Just a gut feeling based on the Guardians' current farm system. We'll see if that happens. But guys, right now, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description. I'm, of course, the Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.